Ladies and gentlemen, this is the YouTube channel vlog show of inspiration and realness. Also, this is the YouTube channel vlog show of positivity, personality, and fun. This is Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, and now the perpetrator of these shenanigans, Big Beefy E himself from his Big Beefy Man Cave in New Bedford, Massachusetts, Mr. Shenanigans himself, and the two-time Chilling 3000 2022 End of the Year Awards winner, Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode 442 of the show. I made a special guest appearance on the Nordic Wolf Productions, a friend of Leon Calaveras, Scorpion Death Drop. Check out the video today. I was honored, and I want to give Nordic Wolf Productions a shout out along with Lady M Light, aka Lucy, and Scorpion Death Drop. Thank you for having me on the show. I am very honored to be part of that stream, and I want to thank you so I can I'd be able to spread the good vibes and the positivity. Well, let's talk about what's going on at NXT right now. As you know, NXT Event Center for the 21st of March 2023, the first NXT of the spring of 2023. Pretty deadly, yes boy. They're pretty funny. Kicks off at NXT. They're talking about what outfits they're going to wear, and then they started dissing Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams came out and said, hey, knock off the clowning, keep my name out of your mouth, and you keep running your mouth, we're going to kick your butt. And then Trick Williams, they try to talk, and they say, we really speak the King English. If you want to fight us, you get it. And then Trick Williams, okay, fine, you accept our challenge. Then it will be you two versus Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker. And then Carmelo Hayes is like, what? What's going on? So, and then Pretty Deadly starts jumping on Hayes and Trick Williams. Braun Breaker comes up, evens things up. And then Braun Breaker helps Carmelo Hayes. I don't want anything happening to you between now and Stand and Deliver. And Carmelo Hayes gets that intense look. And I think Braun Breaker respects the talent that Carmelo Hayes has. And I do too, man. And I am totally, really excited about Stand and Deliver. It's going to Stand and Deliver. I was like, somebody bring Breezango back and teach these clowns how to dress, man. And I don't know where Kit Wilson got that shirt, man. What is it, like the Seinfeld puffy shirt again? Anyways, I'm just, it's really, just really, come on. It's like, really? You seriously? So, upcoming next, one of the women's ladder match qualifying matches, it will be for the NXT Championship at Stand and Deliver, as Zoe Stark and Gigi Dolan already got qualified in the matchup. So it will be between Indy Hartwell coming up next against Tiffany Stratton, and later on Lyra Valkyria, formerly known as Aoife Valkyrie in NXT UK, will be taking on Wendy Chu. And whoever wins those matches will qualify and join Zoe Stark and Gigi Dolan in the women's ladder match for the vacant NXT Women's Championship. Roxanne Perez, as you know, because of the concussion protocol, is unable to defend the title by then, so they don't know the timetable for returns. That's why they put up the title. So they had to keep the title vacant, and Shawn Michaels made that decision. Also, they recapped Grayson Waller and Johnny Gargano, so this is going to be something else. If Grayson Waller keeps running his mouth again like he usually does, and it's crazy. So let's get back and let's get ready. Tiffany Stratton versus Indy Hartwell, women's ladder match qualifier. All right. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. Carmelo wanted an explanation. Trick goes, hey, you get to scout. You get the front row seat of what Braun Breaker is all about. You got the cheat code. You got everything you need. And then Carmelo Hayes understood. He's like, yeah, okay, fine. I know I think in the back of his mind he respects Braun Breaker, but you got Trick Williams is basically saying, hey, you while you team with him, you can scout him out while you're at it. So that way you can get ready. Trick Williams was always looking out for Braun Breaker. Gotta respect Trick Williams for that. And I respect Braun Breaker. It's gonna be a really, really cool matchup. I'm in an era. I think something happened to Wendy Chu, probably an injury or something like that. But I decided to replace Wendy Chu with Ivy Nile in that second women's ladder ladder match qualifier. So it'll be Ivy Nile going one-on-one with Lyra Valkyria. So it's something that so that's kind of a shock move on the part of management. So I think so it'll be Ivy Nile instead of Wendy Chu. And so it's going to be a heck of a match. So Ivy Nile's got a huge opportunity now that she split up with Tatum Paxley, turning her back on Ivy Nile. So right now, Indy Hartwell going one-on-one with Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton's having the upper hand in the matchup so far before they went to commercial break. So that's where we stand right now. So I will get back to you to tell you the results of that matchup and whatever happens afterwards. So stay tuned. Alrighty then. The result of the the first women's ladder match qualifier of the night. Tiffany Stratton did pick up the victory over Indy Hartwell, and then Gallus was playing pool at their favorite pub in Florida, Big Daddy's. Creed brothers walk in and say, "Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? Hey, what you guys want to play some pool?" They played some pool. Gallus beat him at that, and then Creed brothers said, "Hey, darts are our thing." Creed brothers beat him to 2 out of 3. They said, "You know what?" And Gallus knew why they were here. He said, "Hey, stand and deliver. We're getting our titles back." He said, and they shook their hands, accepted the challenge. Both teams walk out. Tony D'Angelo and the underboss, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, said, "Hey, we got some business to attend to. Stand and deliver business." And then Bruce goes, "This is gonna be a long night." Both teams walk back in, then followed by Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo, and decided could end up being a triple threat, or could end up being a fatal four-way. Who knows for sure? At Stand and Deliver. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Coming up next is Wes Lee. He's going to pick the 4 other challengers for a fatal 5-way for the North American Championship. I'm hoping he picks Dragon Lee. I think this is a humongous opportunity for Dragon Lee to really make an impact in his in-ring debut. I would not be surprised if Wes Lee picks him. Trust me on that. So that's what I'm hoping. So we'll find out what Wes Lee does and how he decides the number 1 contenders, the challengers. Is he going to run the gauntlet? I think it could be a gauntlet match. But it's a fatal 5-way. Who knows for sure? A lot of opportunities here. So we'll see what happens. Next up, Wes Lee picks his 4 contenders. So Wes Lee explained himself. Before we get to that, Lyra Valkyria was prepping for her match for Stand and Deliver against Ivy Nile. So there's that. Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed Gigi Dolan, who looks so gorgeous and lovely. I love Gigi Dolan. And she vowed to become the NXT Women's Champion. She felt bad for Roxanne. And she doesn't feel bad for JC Jane. And then Tiffany Stratton, the rude little brat that she is, interrupted Gigi Dolan. "Hey, Tiffany Epiphany, go to the Tiffany tap. Toodles!" God. Ludwig Kaiser, good luck, man, with that woman. Anyways, then Wes Lee addressed the NXT universe on why the reason for the open challenges. He says he wanted to be the best. He wanted to keep himself sharp and prove that he's the best. And then Dragon Lee is like, I had a feeling that Dragon Lee is going to somehow get inside this matchup. And then he goes, "Listen, I've always wanted to face the best, and you're right now you're the best, and I want to be part of that matchup." Wes Lee goes, "I've been watching you, man. I've been waiting. Wait till 6 to 8 months." But he says, "I'm a very patient person. Let's do it. You'll be the first one." So Dragon Lee gets the first spot in the open challenge in the open challenge for the NXT Championship. Then JD McDonough came out and started ripping both Lees, but he says, "You're new here, but what's your excuse?" He goes, what's going to be your excuse when Ilya Dragunov rips you apart? And so JD McDonald starts... so JD McDonald says you wouldn't be standing at all if you were... So here comes Ilya Dragunov, and we're gonna have that matchup. That's JD McDonald versus Ilya Dragunov. I'm sure Wesley in the back of his mind goes, you know what? I'm gonna choose the person who wins this matchup. That should be what Wesley should be doing. So, anyways, so that is the matchup coming up next. You know, so that's the I'm writing it down. And Russ McDonough. So I'm really excited about what's going to happen next in this matchup. Two different styles, different countries. Ilya Dragunov representing Russia. JD McDonald representing Ireland. And he was trained by Finn Balor, mind you. So that's another thing, too, that, you know. So it'll be a whole lot of fun. I can't wait to see what happens in this matchup. Who knows? So I will, we'll see you after the matchup and whatever happens after that match. Alrighty then. So here's what's happening right now. What just happened recently. Indy Hartwell, NXT Anonymous, whoever is doing these videos, just filmed Indy Hartwell being very, very angry, throwing stuff around that she lost another matchup for a chance at the title. And then she was looking at, what are you looking at? And Zoe Stark, like, certainly not the next NXT Women's Champion, and a little upset about that. But then Fallon Henley confronted Kiana James about this Sebastian fella, and she goes, Brooks, you may not. Brooks is family to me, all right, and he means Brooks is family to me, and I think she's about had enough of Kiana James's mind games. So we'll see what happens. It may end up the NXT Women's Tag Team titles could end up going away from Kiana James and Fallon Henley. And then Ilya Dragunov going one-on-one with JD McDonough right now. The match is going on in picture-in-picture. And this matchup, it goes back and forth. These two are just totally nuts. I'm telling you. Totally, totally nuts. So, that's where we stand right now. JD McDonough and Ilya Dragunov. And I will get back to you with the results of the matchup and more from NXT. This is the NXT Event Center of March 21st, 2023, and the first NXT of Spring of 2023. Oh my goodness! The 40-year-old version with the Brawling Brutes and Drew McIntyre was hilarious. Ed Sheeran, Jerry Halliwell, Ricky Gervais. And that happened to me. I was screaming, Bob Saget! Oh my God! What? All right. Let's see what happened here. Ilya Dragunov, Jamie McDonough ended up being a double count out because they were brawling outside the ring. Dragon Lee was scouting the matchup, and so it seems like Jamie McDonough threw Ilya Dragunov into Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee looked at JD McDonough, what's up? JD McDonough slaps him, and all of a sudden, they went at it. And then Wesley got involved, flying over the ropes. I wouldn't be surprised if Wesley put McDonough and Dragunov in the matchup. That's going to be a banger if it is, man. We're standing to deliver. Let me tell you. And then and all four men brawl to the point where referees and officials try to separate them. Then Carmelo Hayes talking to Braun Breaker saying, I don't need your help. No. I want to make sure you're at your best. Those two clowns, I'm talking about Pretty Deadly, but I don't want you two screwing it up either. So what do you mean by that? And so they say, hey, listen, we want this match to be great. So got respect for Braun Breaker to try. I'm just doing it to protect this matchup, this main event. So that's why he's doing it. So we don't know what's going to happen next afterwards, but he's wrestled Ridge Holland. It was Ed Sheeran, Ricky Gervais, Jerry Halliwell. I was screaming, oh, Bob Saget! I would too. Oh, Kelly Clarkson. Oh my gosh! Oh, we tweeted that one in. Oh my god! Oh, that was a funny. And Butch comes in, and real, not the nipples. Ah, and Sheeran. That's my favorite one. Let's get, we'll get back. I'll get back for more NXT action when we get. Then I'll tell you what happened during the next commercial break. Everybody, this is hilarious. All right, things are getting more interesting at the moment, and Mackenzie Mitchell did interview Wesley, and he said, and she goes, "We saw what happens out there. It seems like chaos is following you everywhere." And Lee decided that JD McDonough and Ilya Dragunov will take the next two spots after Dragon Lee for the North American title. Then Axiom said, "Hey, I would like to get a shot, but you know what? Axiom, I know you came so close, but I can't. The only way I can decide this, I love chaos. Let it continue. We're gonna have a battle royal next week, and the winner of that battle royal will take the fifth and final spot in the North American title match." Axiom says, "That's okay. I like that idea. It'll give me an opportunity. I'm there." So it's just an opportunity. Is all I ask for. And I like the Axiom's attitude for it. And then Javier Bernal, Johnny Gargano's music was played, and Javier Bernal came out dressed as Johnny Gargano in street clothes. He starts running his mouth. Gargano came out not in a good mood and starts attacking Bernal. And then he decided, well, I have my contract in my hands. The contract, the matchup will stand and deliver, but it will be unsanctioned match. Anything goes in this matchup. And we held liable. And then Grayson Waller goes, "You know what? I'll tell you what. You give Vic the contract. I'll sign it, but on one condition: you're banned from the building." Well, that could be okay. Johnny Gargano thought it'd be fine because it will get, the times on Raw will give him an opportunity to prepare him for that stand and deliver matchup. So he gives the contract to Vic Joseph, who was Johnny Gargano's best friend in real life, to do that. And Eddie Thorpe will make his debut at NXT TV next week. So the former Carl Fredericks will showcase to the WWE Universe what he's made of. We've seen the guys on NXT level up. Now he's coming to the big time. And Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed Ivy Nile about why Tatum Paxley betrayed her. She felt like that Tatum Paxley was part of the Diamond Mine, but now she says she has an opportunity to take on Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship. That match is coming up next. So stay tuned for the results of that matchup. And a lot more stuff happening. We know the main event, Braun Breaker, the NXT Heavyweight Champ, teaming up with the number one contender, Carmella Hayes against Pretty Deadly. Yes, boy. So looking forward to that matchup, and we'll see you around. All right, as you know, Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed Ivy Nile about her upcoming match against Lyra Valkyria, and was concerned and about addressing her situation with Tatum Paxley, saying that they let her do her own thing, but she was, in her mind, she was part of the Diamond Mine. But then she said it would kind of hurt when Tatum Paxley said they were not a team. And then Hank Walker. Hank Walker did a video addressing, Hank Walker did address about Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey. They responded, "Oh, he's going to be a nice guy," something like that. I think there's more to make Hank Walker than meets the eye. I think Gulak and Dempsey are going to learn that the hard way, I think. So, and then they had the women's ladder match qualifier 2, Ivy Nile against Lyra Valkyria. Valkyria did win the matchup. She's the fourth woman to enter the matchup. So right now, the NXT Women's Championship ladder match stands like this: Zoe Stark, Gigi Dolan, Tiffany Stratton, and now Lyra Valkyria. And Fallon Henley is trying to blow off some steam of what happened, but then looks like Alba Fire and Isla Dawn tried to help her out with that by attacking her, but then And then Kiana James came to her aid and says, listen, about the Sebastian thing, let me tell Brooks myself. So it's going to be very interesting, to say the least, what's going to happen. And next is the great debate between Schism and Chase U. Something bad's going to happen, I got a hunch. So we will see what happens next with the great debate on the NXT Event Center for March 21st, 2023, episode 442 of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Continuing on. Holy cow. You're talking about Stand and Deliver being, stakes being raised? Holy cow. Here's what happened, okay? Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, jump Fallon Henley. Kiana James comes to her aid. I think I mentioned that part. Wesley was interviewed by the cameraman, but then he was interrupted by Jinder Mahal, Dijak, and Dabba-Kato, who are going to be involved in that battle royal that Wesley was talking about. I think Dabba-Kato is the heavy favorite to win that sucker. Well, you never know for sure. But then Blake Howard, the newest NXT correspondent from Level Up, is hosting a great debate between Chase U and Schism. It got to the point where Tyler Bates stood up for Chase U, but now everything is on the line. I'll tell you what. They've issued a challenge in a mixed 8-person tag at Stand and Deliver, Chase U and Tyler Bates versus Schism. At first, Joe Gacy said, no way. We got nothing to live game for. But then Duke Hudson decided to speak up and said, okay, we'll put the school up. Winner gets control of Chase U. What is Duke Hudson doing? I mean, that's a huge matchup at Stand and Deliver. The winner of the match gets control of Chase U. If the Schism win, this is going to be something, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I was like, what? It's crazy, man. It's freaking crazy. I got to tell you, this is nuts. This is knuckin' futs, dude. Knuckin' futs. This, the school on the line. Chase U. And I'll tell you one thing, that means if Chase U loses, Schism's gonna grow. Who knows for sure, man? Who knows for sure? This is really huge. The stakes have been raised, unlike any other. Well, next up, the main event. NXT champion Braun Breaker teaming up with the number one contender, Carmelo Hayes, against Pretty Deadly. Yes, boy. I'll tell you what. If I were Maxine Dupree, I would forget Otis and look at Pretty Deadly. You talk about the Maximum Male Models, Pretty Deadly would be perfect. Let's say the Maximum Male Models keep on going on a losing streak. Maxine Dupree's about had enough. Get the Dandy Highwaymen to get involved in this matchup. So it'll be fun and it'll be hilarious. All right, well, we'll see what happens. So next up, the main event again. NXT champ Braun Breaker, the number one contender to that title, Carmelo Hayes versus Pretty Deadly. Yes, boy. Coming up next. Alrighty then. It seems like the match is on. Right now, the main event. And Gallus, the Creeds, and Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo are all kind of like plumb drunk for hours. And they say, hey, we got what we want. It's time we'll get out, and don't forget the bartender. So the match is going to happen for the tag team titles. Gallus versus the Creed brothers versus the Tony D'Angelo family team of the Underboss, Channing Lorenzo, the Stacks, and Tony D'Angelo in a triple threat. And that means Gallus won't have to be factored in the matchup. And then you got, they ran down the card for Stand and Deliver. Also, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes right now, Pretty Deadly, little gamesmanship going on. And it seems like Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker are working as a team at the moment. So it's going to be an interesting situation, to say the least. So I will get back to and I will get back to you to the final result of this matchup and to close out this video. So stay tuned. All right, that match has concluded, and the show has concluded. Hayes and Breaker did pick up the victory over Pretty Deadly. A couple of matches happening next week on NXT. There'll be a last chance triple threat match for the women's ladder match qualifier. Indy Hartwell, Ivy Nile, and Sol Ruka. The winner of that match will be the 5th woman to enter that ladder match. Also, there'll be a 20-man battle royal. The winner of that match will be part of the 5-man NXT North American Championship. So there is that. So that concludes this episode, episode 442 of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. What's on deck for tomorrow? You got it's Wild Wednesday, the Joker's Wild. I do battle against that rotten devil to see if I can better that record against him. And then you got AEW Dynamite as well tomorrow night. The first AEW Dynamite of spring 2023 and the first Wild Wednesday of spring of 2023. So, that, like I said again, this concludes the first NXT of spring, 2023 of the show. Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode 442 of the show. Thank you for tuning in, and hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed night. And until that next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, please take us home.
That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Lima speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, do it for Bob Saget production. And in association with A Sweet Bowl for Raving Dingleberries Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another great episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Until the next episode, goodbye for now.